Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Thaddaeus Lamb. To my right, your left would be Crystal Lamb, and she is on her way back with the boy. We call him the boy. That's Alex, my son, from karate class. He's doing a little chopping here and there. But we're excited tonight because we're doing our first full episode of the Lamb Lounge. And last time we just did an intro about what Lamb Lounge was going to be. But today is special to me and our family because we're going to highlight a very special man in our lives. None other than my pops, my dad, Thaddaeus Lamb Sr. And so I have with me a couple of special guests today that are going to be making an appearance on here. And so my special guests are none other than my sister, Jasmine Lamb, and my mom, Valerie Lamb. Say hello, wave, say hey.
Hey y'all, what's up?
Yeah, we're working through
it. Hello, how are you all?
Good. How are you all today? I know it's a different day for us. I know today. Those of you who don't know, today would have been Dad's birthday, July the 25th. Every year we're going to celebrate his birthday, and we just wanted to take today to highlight my pops. And how are you all feeling today? Going through, it's been a couple of years now. So, how are you feeling?
It's been okay. Just reminiscing as usual. And, we took a visit to his site and we celebrated. We had sung him happy birthday, released our balloons today, and we talked to him. So it was nice today. It wasn't really a day of sadness like we would normally would have.
Yeah, that first one was tough. That first one was tough.
It was tough.
It's got a little easier.
Yeah.
More reflective, I think.
Yeah. It wasn't bad today, I would say. So it was good.
Mom, how you feeling today?
I agree. It's a different day. Each year is different. As Jasmine said, we celebrate it. And that's one of the things I want to do each year. I want to celebrate his life. Yes, he's not here with us, but he's here with us in spirit, in our hearts. Yeah. And I always want to remember the good things because he brought laughter to this family all the time. Right. His laugh was infectious. When he starts to laughing about things, even if you didn't feel it was funny, he was laughing so deep you had no choice but to laugh. Right. I agree. It was a day of reflection each time his birthday comes. It is a day of reflection, so it was okay. It was okay. I was able to start the day out, with my daughter and with her daughter and with my sister, as I call her, his partner in crime. Yeah, but it was a good day, and we talked about it. We laughed about some of the things that he did and said. So, yes,
definitely. And so I know for me, I don't know, like. It's interesting for me, definitely, because I do reflect, and the past couple of years has been real reflective. I love to think about the great times we've had, right? Like, that's a part of my grieving. My grieving, it hasn't been a lot of breakdowns. I've had a couple of breakdowns since then, since November 2021, but not a lot, which I thank God for. I think I'm just processing things a little differently than some. And I'm realizing that everybody's grief looks a little different. Mine's usually happens when I'm alone, or I think one time I can say that I did have a moment when I was teaching class one day, and I don't know what happened, but I had to leave. I left the room and I went to the bathroom. I said, somebody watch my class real quick. And I just had a moment, and I think that's healthy. That was probably. The crazy part about it, that wasn't even right after. That was probably like that May after it happened. And it just hit like a wave. And I think that you realize some people are more expressive. Crystal can be more expressive. But there are some who are more introverted like myself who will process things internally. And even our kids process things a little differently, I think. And we're going to talk a little bit about that throughout the year, I think. But But I'm definitely reflective, definitely missing his laugh, definitely missing his joy that he brought to the room every time he walked in, his infectious joy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so excited about today.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do want to start off with asking you this: what is one just moment that sticks out the brightest in your mind about Thaddeus Lamb Sr., my daddy? Anybody want to start us off? Jasmine or Mom, what you thinking? And we're just talking. We're in the lounge today, so we're just chilling today, y'all.
Oh, yes.
We're not. We don't have a script. We're just going for what flows in the lounge. What flows in, like if you're in the living room talking to us. If you want to say something in the comments, go ahead and say something. And we got B Dot on the board, and we got her. She'll respond to some. Yeah, B Dot. She got her sound effects ready, and yeah, but she'll respond, and she might throw some up on the screen for us so we can see. And yeah, but Jasmine, what was one moment? I saw you about to talk. What was one moment you were saying?
There's a couple of moments. One big moment, and Junior, you don't even know about this one.
Uh-oh.
I was about to go into it the other day, but I was like, we're gonna save it.
Yeah.
Mom, I think you might know this one because I shared it. But I was in high school, and I was coming out of practice one day, and I came out those doors, and I hear some bass, like loud bass, and I'm thinking it's like another student or like a young family member picking up somebody. And I look down the street, and coming around the corner is Dad. And that Explorer Sport Track.
No.
And he got all the windows down. And he pulling up with one hand on the wheel, and he bopping his head. And the song that is being played is Petey Pablo Freak a Leak.
Not even North Carolina. He playing Freak a Leak.
Freak a Leak. And so not only is he playing it, homeboy knows the song, okay? And you know they name random chicks in the song.
Yes.
Okay, why did he throw Mama's first name and middle name in the song? Valerie, Lynette, Lamb. I was like, oh. I said, what you not gonna do is pull up to my school and pick me up in front of my friends like this. I went in the back seat. I usually get in the front seat. I went in the back seat this day and rolled my window up and laid down on the ride because he still was singing this song. And I was no more good. I was like, Dad, are you serious? He was like, this is my jam. I said, you don't know nothing about no Petey Pablo.
Obviously. But did he have the trunk rattling? That's what I need to know. Was the trunk rattling with bass?
Oh, I don't even know. I was so embarrassed. It was the fact that the bass was booming in that truck. He literally had the treble, like he adjusted everything as he was pulling up because he like sat in the front because it's like a semicircle or whatever. He's turning up the bass. I'm like, Dad, this is unnecessary.
I'm done.
And everybody's like, oh, okay. And like, there's kids sitting on the steps in the front. I'm like, oh my God, can we just go, please? It's not that serious.
Something only.
That's like the man.
And you said what grade were you in? When was this? Like high school?
I was like, this is high school. Like I had been like, this was probably like 11th grade.
So that puts
10th
like
or 11th grade.
That puts Daddy like what? Late 40s, early 40s. That's wild.
Probably late 40s. Or early, yeah, probably like mid 40s or something. Petey Pablo, honey.
Who knew that in 2023 we would be talking about Petey Pablo?
Petey Pablo. I Freak a Leak. Wow. And put in my mama's name in that song.
I should have asked about that song before so Bria could play a little clip. But that's crazy.
Yes,
wow.
yes.
That is definitely a memory. Yep.
Yes.
Second. That is a story, and it is now public knowledge for everybody to know.
That is Big Daddy for you. Big Daddy. We love you, Big Daddy.
And for those of you who don't know, we called him Big Daddy because he was a big version of me. And so the grandkids called him Big Daddy. So that's his nickname.
Yes, and he did not want to be called Granddad or Grandpa or anything like that.
Granddad.
No.
At all.
And
He
Mama
did
is
not.
called Meemaw. She's Meemaw, not Grandma.
Absolutely.
Not Granny, but Meemaw.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's one of my fondest memories of your dad, Big Daddy. When it was time for Brielle to come, of course, when we found out about Brielle, we were so excited. Our first grandchild, it was so exciting, always had been. And so we talked about it, and I was like, oh my God, we're gonna have a grandbaby. And out of his mouth, the first thing he said was, I'm not gonna be a granddaddy. And I'm like, but you are. You're going to be a granddaddy. And he said, but they're not going to call me granddaddy. And I'm like, well, I'm not sure what they're going to call you. They're going to call me Mima, so you need to figure out what they're going to call me. He said, my grandchildren will call me Big Daddy. And I'm like, okay. And that, I mean,
there's some negative conversations about that name out in the world, but
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
And I was like, Dad, are you serious? Big Daddy, out of all names, like Big Daddy,
Yes.
not Papa. Yes. Like, we're really going with Big Daddy.
Yes, he did not want Pop. He didn't want Grandpa. He didn't want anything. He wanted Big Daddy. But I will say this. I remember very well when Brielle was born. And no matter what happened, I said, if Brielle comes, calling you Grandpa, he said, Brielle can call me whatever she wants. That's all he wanted. It was like, it was the best thing since sliced bread. He sat there, he looked at Brielle, and, he held her finger, she held his finger. It was just everything. So yes, he wanted to be called Big Daddy, but he told me real straightforward, whatever she calls me, I'm going to answer. He was so excited about the birth of his first grandchild. And so yes, she did call him Big Daddy, and every child coming in afterwards have called him Big Daddy, and he loved that name. They call him Big Daddy. He lived up to it. Yes.
Oh man, that's crazy. And speaking of names, right? So like, of course I'm a junior, and I'll never forget. Hey Tasha, I'll never forget when Alex, when Crystal was pregnant with Alex, and we did the gender reveal, right? And the gender reveal was at the church, and we went live on YouTube. I remember that. You remember? We went live on YouTube, and we didn't know that. We didn't tell anybody, first of all, that it was a boy, and we didn't tell anybody his name. And so it was crazy because, we did the gender reveal, everybody's celebrating and everything, and I had Daddy, he was live. I think I had him on FaceTime or something like that. Google Meet, yeah. It was on Google Meet. And I was like, hey, Dad, guess what? He was like, what? I said, guess what we're naming him? Thaddeus. And he just stopped. And, and he was just
he was so excited.
He was thrown. And I remember his excitement that it would keep going. His name would keep going to the third. We call him Alex, but his name is Thaddeus Alexander Lamb the Third. And so his legacy is going to live on. Even while I'm gone, he's still going to have a name and a namesake that keeps going. And I just think that's so awesome that he had the opportunity. I thank God that he saw both of our children be born. And he saw all of our children be born. He got Jemiah back there. He saw Jemiah born. And I think that's crazy, man. It's great.
Sister put in the chat, hello, fam. It's in the comments.
Hey, our sister.
Hey, our sister.
He was so excited about Trey. He would brag about him so much and his name. He told everybody. He would tell somebody down the street. I'm like, you don't even know them. Like, he bragged about so much at school to his people. He was like, Jasmine, you're gonna be the third. Oh, I'm like, okay, Dad. I know that, Dad. He was really excited about Trey.
He was,
like,
definitely.
The whole name was like everything to him.
Yes.
That
And
And
he
set him
always
off.
said, he always says, he says, I was the first. And he says, and
Yep.
Thaddeus is the second, the junior. And he says, Trey, he said, Alex, we call him Trey.
mm-hmm.
And
Uh huh.
no matter what, and I think that's why we always call him Trey, is because Thad was so excited to have the third.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you all call him, I know Junior and Crystal and Real and them call him Alex.
Or the boy.
But if you notice, we always call him Trey, yeah, or the boy. But we
Hmm.
always called him Trey because Dad took so much pride
Yeah.
in having the third,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
that's
he
that's
did.
what he would call him all the time,
Mm.
Trey.
And I
So
think y'all are the only
yeah.
ones that I always let people call him Trey because I mean
Yeah.
Hmm.
nobody else knows that,
Yeah.
and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But
Even
yeah.
Brielle's middle name, he was so excited about
Mm-hmm.
that too.
Yes,
He was like,
that's
"That's
right.
still my name."
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Brielle
it's still that's his
Alexandria.
middle name. Uh huh. It's still his middle name.
B dot.
B died, but yeah, he was
Yes.
excited about all like his namesake and each of his grandchildren except for Jemiah, but still, he was so excited about that.
He's still excited about Jemiah. He loves her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he loves some
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jemiah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
one of the things I would laugh about all the time is, you know, losing Thad, Big Daddy, y'all dad. It was such a shock. And, when you think about it, when it was time for the kids to process that, that was hard for them. And it was real hard for Jemiah. I saw it a lot with Jemiah only because she had a routine. And the routine was always Jasmine would bring Jemiah here to the house every morning, and I would take her and drop her off to school. And so Jemiah and Big Daddy had this bond because Jemiah comes in and Big Daddy might be still laying in the bed, and she would go over there to the side of the bed and wake him up, try to scare him. And he would try his best to stay awake. He knew she was coming. And so he would lay there and he would do his so best to try to stay awake, but he couldn't stay awake. And every time she come in, she'll go over there and she would just scare him and it would wake him up. And that was
Uh
her
huh.
big thing. And so she had that chair that sits beside the bed, that still sits beside the
Mm-hmm.
bed.
The little chair.
And she would sit in that chair and he would sit there and they would talk and they had their moments. And so I didn't realize how um, children process things. And so after the passing of Dad, I was rearranging some of the furniture, and so the chair was still beside the bed, and it still is. But she had a habit of getting into that bed in that chair and twisting. It was a rolling chair. And she would twist around in it, and Thad would always tell her, Jemiah, stop it before you fall and hurt yourself. And so she would stop, and she would, until he turned his back and she would start again. Well, after he had passed, Jemiah was in that chair and she was rolling around in that chair. And I was in the bathroom and I looked in there. I said, Jemiah, stop before you fall and hurt yourself. And she stopped in her tracks and she looked at me. And in her facial expressions, you could see it all like, that's what Big Daddy always told her. And I looked at
Hmm.
her and she just kept looking at me like I had stunned her.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about
Hmm.
what I said, and I went over there to her and I said, Jemiah, you can't do that because you might fall and hurt yourself. So she got out the chair and she got in the bed on his side of the bed and she just laid down on his pillow. So, I know that when I said that, I didn't realize it, but it just made her think about him because it
Right.
just stopped her in her tracks. She didn't say anything. She just stopped and she just looked at me and looked at me. When I went to tell her, she just got on his bed and she always gets on his side of the bed. And
Right.
to this day, she could stay with me all night or whatever. She doesn't want to get on my side of the bed. She just wants to lay on his side of the bed in his on
Mm.
his pillow, and she does that, and
Okay.
that's her thing.
Mm-hmm.
So kids are processing things differently. I don't move the chair. She's she has her moments, and but one thing that I do and I'm happy about that Jasmine and Junior do is you all continue to talk about Big Daddy and Thad to the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and that helps them. That allows them to be able to process and understand that even though he is not with us at the moment, it's okay for them to talk about him, and
Right,
it's
right,
okay for them to laugh about him and the
right.
things that he did and does.
Yeah, we definitely give them that space to
Mm-hmm.
really talk about it and process it appropriately. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like even today, I know y'all FaceTime me when y'all went to the grave site, and just seeing Jemiah sort of interact. She interacts with him still, even though he's not physically
Mm-hmm.
here with us. She still interacts with him when
Yeah.
she goes to visit, and
Yeah.
she'll talk to him, and I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The kids, when we take them out there, we
Mm-hmm.
talk to them, we have a good conversation a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, and I think that's all processing appropriately. And I know a lot of people, and
Mm-hmm.
I forgot we was even live right now, but I know a lot of people probably deal with grief. They deal with loss, and I think it's important that we share all different ways of how we deal with that, how we deal with that loss. And some families they cry all day. That's not us. That's not how we built. The
Mm-hmm.
lambs
Yeah.
we move a little different, and I'm fine with that. I
Yeah.
like it. I like the way we move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of how we
We
move
do.
different, speaking of how we move different, I think about growing up. Dad wasn't the disciplinarian. Mama was.
No. No.
Uh,
Yes.
but what's funny about it is the funny memories I have is with Jasmine. Whenever Daddy said something, if he said one thing that was like, Jasmine, I can't believe you did that. All of a sudden, Jasmine's in
Stop.
tears.
I don't.
She's done. He could say the same thing to me.
It
I'd be
hurt
like,
my feelings.
look. He could say the same thing to me, and I'd be
hurts.
like, whatever, dude. Like, but he would say the word, and Jasmine is broken for the rest of the day. And that did my heart some good, Jasmine.
I can't stand you.
It did. I think just knowing that the way that you like stayed up under him so much, even though he was in the military and he was gone quite a bit, but he did whenever he
Yes.
was back, he would show up and Jasmine would get right back in the groove, and it was like clockwork. I only remember one time being disciplined with him, and with with a spanking. We okay with spanking.
Yes.
And that's all it took was that one time, because all I got to say is the utensil did not work after that. And I looked at him and he looked at me and he was like, all right. He just walked out. Because it was like he realized that he went too hard. He went too and I think that was one of my moments of just. But I will say that part was funny. But I will say that later on in life, my dad became my best friend. It wasn't early in life. Earlier, I think I was more up under mama. Of course.
Yeah.
Staying up under mama.
Ugh.
If mama was upset, I was upset. If mama was upset with me, I was Jasmine. I was breaking down. I was done. Like
Exactly. Uh-huh.
But
Yes.
but I remember in college, of course, when mom and dad dropped me off, they said, "Son, we done taught you everything you need to know. You're on your own now, so don't call us if you get locked up." And I took that. I was like, "All right, respect." But I've always been in the back of my mind that he taught a lot. He taught me a lot, and it never failed. Whenever I would come home or whenever he came down to visit, me and him would stay up till midnight, 1 a.m, just talking about anything. It could be politics. It could be sports. Like, we would just sit in the chair sometimes in the living room at mama's house and just sit looking at TV, and I just look over and be like, "What'd you think about this?" And we just start talking. And I remember even when I got my call to ministry, and he started asking me all of a sudden about faith things, and that really that was big for me, knowing that I could also teach my father something, and just being a part of that back and forth, that knowledge of sharing back and forth with him was great. And so I think that's one of my highlights of my life with him, is just that he was my friend. He wasn't just my dad. He was my dad for the first 18 years. But after that, he became my friend. And we talked about everything. Marriage, anything that was going on with me and Crystal, he knew about it. And I think that was just he was my confidant, somebody I could talk to about anything and everything, and he wouldn't judge people. Like, that's something about his personality. Like, he knew some of the worst things about people, but you'd never know. And
you would never know.
And he would just keep moving. He moved.
Yeah.
He moved with effectiveness and joy wherever he went. If he was hurt, you could tell, because that was the only time. Like, he had to be really hurt for something for it to show. And I think that's what shocked us, I think, whenever he did leave us, was that, man, well, it wasn't nothing wrong. Like, you know, so just seeing that joy kind of leave out, it was big for us. But thankfully, you know, he still lives on. His joy still lives. Yeah. What are y'all thoughts on that? And Crystal's
and speaking of like talking to him and him holding, like, you can talk to him about anything, he would not say a thing. Daddy was the first, like, one of the, aside from Aunt Gail, he was one of the first people I talked to about me being pregnant. So I said, well, Dad, how do you feel about more grandchildren? He was like, you pregnant? I said, yeah. Did you tell your mama? No. When you going to tell her? I don't know. Oh, okay. Well, I'll let you have that conversation. I don't know how long it took me for me to tell Mom or whatever about it, but Dad held on to that thing for some time before I told her. So sorry, Mom, but I did tell Dad first.
What else is new?
But he does hold on to some secrets. Like, you can talk to him and he'll sit there and he'll listen, like, in that couch, that big couch, and I will talk to him about just everything. If he don't like nursing, if he didn't understand a word I said, he'd be like, oh, okay, and just shake his head and go along with it. He'd be like, okay then, well, I don't, yeah. That's all he would say. But he was just a listening ear. He'll give some good advice too. And he'll follow up on it too. Like, how you feel, like, after your day at work the other day, or your day at school, I know you had this test or whatever like that. He will always come back and follow up on everything to make sure you were okay. Or he'll text me, because I worked like 100 jobs and I was a full-time student, and he will be like, he'll never see me at home. So he's like, you all right? Like, I know you was doing this. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. He was like, okay, well, all right, I love you. Like, just random stuff. And even when I moved out on my own to North Carolina, and he would text me at night to make sure I locked my door. Did you lock your door? I'm like, Dad, it's 10:30 at night. You know, he always checked on me no matter what. He was always concerned about me. You know, and it's funny. I'm like, no matter how old I got, he would always treat me like the baby girl.
Because you always were the baby girl. Spoiled. Can y'all hear me okay?
Hey, Crystal. We can.
Hi, Crystal.
Can y'all hear me? I finally made it. I had to get the boy from Karate, and then he wanted food.
Oh,
so
of course
I had to
he
feed him. Yeah. And I was listening the whole time. So good evening, everybody. I'm Crystal.
That's Crystal
of the Lamb. I'm here. I was kind of frustrated. It was like my idea to do it, and then I was late. But life be lifing.
But you can catch up.
I know. I had to be a mommy. So, but I know y'all been sharing stories, and I've been listening in. So, is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
We just freestyling today, y'all.
Oh, we just freestyling. Mm-hmm. Okay. I definitely remember the time we told him about Alex's name, or Trey. by him being a third, because we had went back and forth about a lot of names, and then finally one day we was like, we should give him y'all name, like he should be the third. It just kind of hit us, and we just kind of stuck with it. And I've always loved that name. Thaddeus was the first Thaddeus I ever met.
Probably the best Thaddeus.
Hey, Auntie Gail. But it was just, I don't know, like for me that meant a lot. And even Brielle's name, you know, giving her that middle name Alexandria, like I really wanted their names to mean something, and not just something we put together, mixed together. So I love that. But I would like to share a couple of my Big Daddy stories.
Go ahead. I got you.
Okay, so a couple of them. I'm gonna start with the food. So, y'all,
the food.
Crystal, don't you start the drama.
I ain't gonna start. Look, I ain't gonna start no drama, y'all. I love my sister Jasmine, but we kind of have a little
competition.
You know, a little competition, you know. But
I'm the favorite. Let's get that straight right now.
I wasn't even gonna say that,
ma'am.
See, you putting it out there.
I just want to set the atmosphere of where we at.
All right. Well, my father-in-law could cook his booty off. Like that man, every time I came to Virginia, and first of all, y'all, he called me CJ. So growing up, not a lot of people called me that, but that was his nickname for me. So he always called me CJ. And so when we was coming up there, he called me and say, CJ, what you want to eat? And I'm like, you gonna make that gravy? She gonna make that gravy?
I don't know what is in that gravy that makes.
I don't know what he put in that gravy, y'all. But the first time I ate it, I think he was like kind of like curious about my behavior, because y'all know us in the southern lands, when you have gravy and it's left on your plate, you supposed to sop it up with a biscuit. But I don't eat biscuits, so I got sliced bread and was wiping my plate. He was like, okay, CJ, that must really be good. You sopping it up? I said, I sure am. I said, I would lick the plate, but I'm going to use this bread instead. Okay? That's how good that gravy was. I don't know what it was about that gravy. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, because you're right.
Oh, because I was like, when I said licking the plate.
Did.
Yes. I love his gravy. And so then, of course, when we were coming back to North Carolina, because we are the NC Lambs. They're the VA Lambs. He would pack it up in Tupperware for me, but he would be like, y'all better bring my Tupperware back. We'd be like, we gonna bring it back. Like, we gonna bring the Tupperware back. And so then it got to the point he didn't trust us with his Tupperware, so he started putting his name on it. He started labeling the Tupperware.
He did. He even gave us the Redskin one sometimes because he knew we didn't want to keep that.
Yeah. So we bring it back. But yes, like, I have so many good memories of him just cooking in the kitchen. Like, we be going to church, come back, because he went to the early, like, because he drove the van. Mm-hmm. And so he would go to church real early. And so he come back and be cooking. And we come back and the house be smelling so good. He just be sitting in a chair because he already knew what time it was, because we was about to go in there and just tear it up. Like, I'm telling you, girl, honk, whatever else you got over there, mix it up, do some claps, do it all, cause that man could cook, y'all.
Yeah,
Daddy Lamb
for the food.
He could cook. That was one thing that
Lord,
he did well.
He stayed cooking.
Yes,
especially on Sunday dinners. It was
and it got to a point where, you know, he would cook really big dinners when I showed up. So, you know,
whatever.
When we showed up,
it was really
whatever.
I don't think he ever asked me what to eat.
French. We.
No, I don't think he ever asked you what you wanted to eat. It was really.
He did. He actually did. I ain't gonna lie. He was like, Crystal and Junior coming in town, but Crystal likes to eat this. I need to go get this pork because she likes this gravy. I was like, since when did you cater to Crystal's needs? I was hot. I couldn't even choose what I wanted to eat because he made sure that the entrees was catered to Crystal. I was like, oh.
Wow, bro.
Well, can I get some cornbread? No, we didn't make sure.
And I'm going to make this statement because, yes, he did cook. And Jasmine is partly telling the truth. But he always...
No, this is when they come in town.
Every Sunday,
he made that cornbread.
Sunday, he would cook
that cornbread
the food but he will always make sure Jasmine was coming over. He knew she was coming over. He was, whether he knew for sure she was going to come or not, he was like, so is Jasmine coming to dinner? I'm like, I'm sure you've already talked to her. Why don't you give her a call and find out? And he was like, well, I was just wondering. And I'm like, but you already have a meal cooked. You already know, and she knows what you're cooking. So he knew that whenever he was going to cook, it was for Jasmine. And if Crystal and Junior was coming to town, he always asked what CJ wanted, with the gravy and everything. But guaranteed, Jasmine had already put in her bid of what she wanted because it was always for Jasmine.
Our sister.
Always for Jasmine. So it was never asked. I was never asked, what would you like for Sunday dinner? I used to ask him, hey, what are you cooking for dinner today? I'm sure you and Jasmine has discussed it. So that was our routine for Sundays.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yes.
Wow. I can't with you. And
I don't believe it.
Meanwhile, all I get is conversation. Food.
But it's meaningful. But it's meaningful conversation.
It was.
I think
he cracks me up.
I think Brielle has a story she wants to share real quick. You want to come over here real quick, Brielle? Quick.
She wanted me to share it, but it's not my story to share because I didn't do it.
Get on camera for us.
Oh, y'all gonna see B dot.
Oh, the B to the dot.
Come on in, Bri. Come talk. Talking to the mic.
Y'all, this is our lovely 14-year-old about to go to high school.
The B dot.
The B dot.
Oh, so
My
I was
niecey
gonna
poo.
say,
Talking to the mic. Can y'all hear?
Oh. I would say I have two stories. So my first story was when my dad was talking about with like conversation and stuff. Like whenever
Can y'all hear okay?
Yes.
Okay.
whenever I would come over, like especially when I started getting older, like whenever I would come over, like it would be like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I would like come downstairs and we would have like dessert in the fridge, and I would get some dessert from the fridge, and I would get a cup of milk, and I would sit in, because he had his chair, and then there was not my chair, but there was the other chair, and so I would always sit in the other chair, and there would always be like some Western on the TV. It was it was
Oh,
Western. It was MASH on the TV, and we would watch
Yes.
it, and we would eat dessert together, and we would talk about what was on the TV and stuff like that, and we would just talk about anything. And so I think that was really cool. Like especially as I got older, we were still able to like connect and talk and stuff like that. And well, and I guess my second story kind of ties into what I was just saying, but there was I remember one summer I came up there, and he had showed me this recipe that he had found on like Facebook or something, and he was like, we should make this, Bria. I got the ingredients. It was strawberry brownies, and this was like
Yes.
3-4 years ago.
So bomb.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. But we made it together that one summer when I was up there, and like ever since then, like every time I came up there, he would always make sure there was a box of strawberry cake mix in the pantry for us to make strawberry brownies together whenever we were there, and they were usually gone like by the time it was.
Yes, they were. They were
so
bomb.
My parents, they only got to try it like a couple times. Because me and him would always end up eating it up before we had a chance to really
Share it with anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good though.
And I would like to say that recipe.
Like, it was like
Okay, keep talking. Sorry. Go ahead.
it was like the year before he passed. Okay.
Go ahead.
It was like the year before he passed. It was that year. I really think it was like, I don't know. It was like how to explain it? It was like, not divine intervention, but something like that.
Okay.
Because it was like the year before he passed, he was taking me and Alex everywhere. Like, he took me and Alex to the museum. He took us to, like, the movies. He just took us, like, a lot of traveling, like, that summer before he passed away. And I'm really grateful that we were able to, like, do all of that and stuff. before he passed. Like that was I'm really grateful.
And King's Dominion.
That time. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, yeah. We went
to King's Dominion.
Yeah, Foodie and Big Daddy.
And the chairs.
We were in their scooters. They were in their scooters.
Yeah, they had those
And
scooters.
yes,
And
they had those scooters and roll around in those scooters.
And we would go and we had a lot of fun that year. But I just remember like being able to talk with him and stuff like that. So that's something that I really cherish is just our conversations that we have with each other and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sweetie.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank
Go
you.
back to my spot.
Aw. Do me a favor. Can you check on a couple of things? I know we're live, but still. Can you check on the dog?
Yes. Milo is having a fit.
Get Alex if he wants.
Oh no.
Yes.
And bring some tissue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can y'all hear us okay?
All right.
Yep.
We don't have a producer right now, so we're just going to have to wing it.
Right. And for me, y'all know I'm the extrovert, so I'm more expressive with my tears. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think for me, the reason why I get emotional is because I didn't have grandparents growing up. My mom, my grandma, my mom's mom died that October before I was born. So I never got that experience. And so, like, to see how Brielle and Big Daddy and Alex and Big Daddy and Jemiah had that connection, it just really fills my soul. Because I'm so thankful they have those memories. And even for Brielle, like, I never forget for such a long time, every Sunday, he would call because they had to watch America's Funniest Videos together.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
we'd
they
be
did.
like, so we knew when we heard the phone ringing, we'd be like, Brielle, Big Daddy's calling. It's time for y'all to watch America's Funniest Videos. And she would literally sit there and they would, what was they watching it on? Like, what was they on? Just, it wasn't the phone because she didn't have a phone.
No, it was just on TV. Like, he would call her.
It was on TV.
I know,
Yeah.
I
It
know,
was
but I
on
can't
TV.
remember if it was it our face. I don't know. Anyway, but he made sure every Sunday at 7:00 they were watching America's Funniest Videos together. Yeah, I'll never forget that. Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, those things meant so much to him. When it came to the grandkids, you know, like I said, he was very adamant about they're not gonna call him certain thing, but it didn't matter to him what they really called him. But if they called him, he did it. He made it happen. Even when, like Bree said, that they spent a lot of time the summer before his passing doing a lot of trips, and during those times, Dad wasn't feeling the best. But he would not have ever let them know that he was not feeling his best. You know, he would make it happen for them. He would go to the animated movies with them. I didn't do animated movies, and but he would take all of the grandkids to the different movies, and he would sit through the movies, whether it was
he would.
you know, a cartoon, if it was you know, any kind of cartoon or whatever, he would sit through the movies with them, and then he would take them to the ice cream, to Sweet Frog.
Ice cream too. That's
And
the
ice
Sweet Frog.
Yeah, so
Or
you
Cold
know,
Stone.
he has so many memories with all of the kids. He had his way with each one of them, and it was different with each one of them. And it's
he
his
did.
same way that he was with Jasmine and Junior. He had his way with Jasmine, Junior, and Crystal, but it was his way. And it was different with all of them. He treated them all differently. He loved them all, but he loved them all differently. And no matter what, he was going to make it happen.
Right.
And so, you know, that was
We'll figure it out.
his way. And you know,
We'll figure it out.
That was
That
was his way.
Yeah, Brielle was saying he would always talk to Alex about his games too. So like you said, he always had a way of connecting with each of us in a different way. Whatever spoke our he spoke our language. We'll say that.
Yeah.
He always spoke our language. He spoke to Crystal through food and love. He spoke to me just in general, like topics, like news topics. He talked to Brielle a lot of times with dessert. Alex with
he listened to his
games, about
yeah.
his games and everything, and his technology and stuff. And Jemiah, he was there for Jemiah just all the time. So
Oh gosh, Jemiah was spoiled by him.
just like her mama.
And I will say, I think witnessing, especially Thaddeus and that in Big Daddy's relationship, was very unique, for me, because the way I grew up and kind of being the baby, and Kim was going off to college by the time I was in third grade, so I kind of grew up kind of the only child, so to speak. So to see Thaddeus and his dad interact. And I'll never forget that one night this was in our first house on Green Spring Drive, and Daddy Lamb had came down. I don't even know what, it was just him. He had came down, and remember we sat at that table for hours just talking. And don't get him started on the man, because when he would get started on the man.
Oh my goodness.
The man is listening right now.
Child.
The man is listening.
Child.
Yes,
I'm telling
the
y'all,
camera and everything.
Yes, Lord. If he got started on the man, you better just buckle up, because it's gonna be a ride and a conversation.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
And that one particular night, I don't know, like y'all stayed up like it was really late before they went down. I remember I had to leave them at the table. I was like, look, y'all know I'm an old lady and my internal clock is shutting down. So I had to go to bed, but I'll never forget that. Like, we were just sitting around the table, just talking.
Yeah.
I don't even know the occasion why he was down there. But he was down there. So I'll never forget that. He got to talking about the man. I said, oh, Lord. Y'all done got him hyped.
Yes, that had him on one.
Oh, yes. Lord have mercy.
So definitely many a nights like that.
Oh, yeah. And when we would come up, I know you talked about that too. I would lead them up talking, because I would go to bed.
I know Crystal wanted to share about the bear that we have here, and I think we're going to start closing out soon.
Okay.
I don't know if you had anything in particular you wanted to get out before we start that closure process. But
I'm sorry. I'm just emotional today.
don't do that. I know.
I've had a long day, but I will say the one thing that I know he'll always live, through his children, but especially his son. That is, and Mama Lamb, this is credit to you too. But that is such a good man. He is such a good man, and I've kind of throughout our marriage, I've gone to school several times. I've worked full time. I've worked part time. I've been kind of all over the place. And at one point, I think I was in school part time. This one, I think I was working on my master's. And Thaddeus got a job at O'Reilly. He was working for the church.
Yeah, he did.
And he said, because he saw his dad work at McDonald's and do what he
working at McDonald's.
Do for his family. And so he said he didn't know anything else but to do what he needed to do, because that's what he saw his dad do. And so I'm just very fortunate enough that I get to reap the benefits of such a good man that lives on through his son. And I'm forever thankful for that. I'm sorry. It's just been a long day. But I also wanted to share, because I want my kids to understand it's okay to feel emotional. It's okay to cry. Because if we didn't love him, we wouldn't feel this way. And if he didn't love us. But he was such a good man. Such a good man. And I'm just thankful again that he still lives on through his kids, through us, through his grandchildren. And I think too, kind of going back to when y'all was talking about the way kids grieve. I don't know if y'all noticed, like Alex does cling to me more. I think it's because I'm his mommy. But the last couple times we've been to Virginia, he's always come home a little sad, a little in his feelings. And, I try to talk to him, ask him, and I was like, Alex, it's okay. Like, if you miss Big Daddy, it's okay. And so I've noticed, and like today, he doesn't know why, but he's been sad all day. And I don't even think Alex is still trying to process and understand. But like he even told me today, that's what was kind of taking a long time, because I was actually trying to talk to him, because he didn't feel like he did well in karate today and stuff like that. And he was just like, Mommy, I don't know why I'm sad. And I'm like, Alex, it's okay. I don't think he really knows how to say what he feels. But he's very in tune. And it just so happened today,
he's had a more sad day, you know. And so, I just encourage parents, if you're out there listening, especially with small kids, and kind of going back to what Mama Lamb's example of Jemiah, just listen. Just listen to them, because they're still trying to figure it out. He's 8. No, excuse me. He just turned 9, and having to experience the losses he's experienced. It's been different. But God is sovereign. He don't make mistakes.
Nope. He is.
I think it's very important, as you all were saying, and I think the reason why I can look at the grandkids and see that they are going to be okay because of you all. You all set the example for them to let them know that it is okay to, like you say, cry if you're sad, laugh if you want, and everybody's going to process it differently.
Right.
But with the children, it's very important that they see that we are going to be okay. We miss him. We will always miss him. He's not here. We wish that he could be here, but he is not. But again, it's up to us to make sure that the children still know of Big Daddy and not make it seem like it's taboo to talk about the death of Big Daddy.
Right.
Jemiah refers to his gravesite as his new bed, and his headstone is his pillow. And so we have to make sure that she understands when we go to see him, we tell her, go find Big Daddy's new bed, go find Big Daddy's pillow. And she knows that. So she can look at that and she can find his name and she can process the fact that he's not with us. And so when she says she misses him, I don't dismiss that. And she often says that she misses it. But like Trey may not understand why he's sad right now. But if we know that it's probably because it's his birthday and we know that we usually do something, we need to discuss that with him and let him understand that it's okay. It is okay to miss him. Yes, on special days, it's going to be hard for us. Certain days it's going to trigger different things for us. But we just don't want to dismiss anything with them because we're not understanding. We as adults process death so hard. It's hard for us to process death. So as children, they don't know how to look at the different outlets like you all, like we do. We know the resources that we have. So we have to be their resources. And so when I get the grandchildren together, when all 3 of them are with me, that's the best thing since sliced bread. I just retired and I tell them all the time, this is the time where I'm just going to enjoy my grandkids. And when they're with me, trust and believe, when they're with me, I talk to them about Big Daddy. I show them the different things about Big Daddy.
Right.
They go into Big Daddy's room in the man cave and they see Big Daddy all over. So, they're going to have their moments. But I think it's really important the way that you all as parents are showing them that it's okay to grieve, but we are okay. We will move forward.
Yeah.
We're going to be okay.
That's right.
So that's what I have to say in reference to that. He was a great man, and he's still a great man. He was a great father. He's still that great man, and will always be cherished.
Yep. And then even incorporating our Nerf wars for Big Daddy. Like we know that he was we have our Nerf wars every Christmas in the living room and everything. We act a fool, but we know that Big Daddy would just sit in the chair and look at us like we crazy and just let us do whatever we wanted to do. But we put that in honor of Big Daddy and having Nerf wars every year now. So like it's just something for the kids. Then they know like this is for you, Big Daddy, like gang gang. but it's just something healthy for them, just grieving healthy and having coping skills for them so they don't have to cry all the time. No, it's not all about being in your bed crying all the time. You don't have to. You can look back on good memories, do things to in memory of him. Like when me and Jemiah went to the cemetery one day and we blew bubbles with Big Daddy. We acted like he was there. We had a cookout or whatever, and we sat there and blew bubbles with him. She was all over the place playing with him, and we talked. It's just a healthy way of grieving and talking to him and acting like he was there. So, I mean, it's just seeing what's really healthy for kids to cope, depending on their age, and it's just how would your kid grieve with that special person, like about that special person? What would make them come through and not be sad all the time, where they have
Right.
to carry that all their life?
Right. Right. So that's kind of been my thing. I'm living my grief out loud. People who know me, if I'm not having a good day, it's not a good day. But kind of going back to Mama Lamb's point, we keep it moving because life still, still presses on.
Life goes on.
But I'm thankful. Thank y'all for joining this. This was really kind of a selfish request on my part because I'm just trying to be intentional with my grief.
Therapeutic.
And live it out loud. So I really do appreciate y'all coming on and just sharing because I didn't know him as long as y'all did, but as long as I had him, it was good.
But you was the daughter.
I know
You was the daughter.
it was good. It was good.
Yeah, you were.
It was good. All right, so I think we're trying to wind down.
Yeah, I got to go on a Zoom here in a second.
And I need to check on Alex. But I just wanted to share with y'all. So we had these made. I had them made last Christmas. Daddy Lamb was a avid Redskins fan. His room, shop at the man cave is Redskins, and so Mama Lamb allowed Thaddeus and Jasmine to take some of his clothes, and we got a lot of his Redskins jerseys and his Norfolk, because he went to Norfolk State, and this is Brill's. Excuse me, it's Brill's. And so I'm so thankful for the young lady at So Quick Quilts. Jasmine has hers too.
Yeah.
And so we had this made. It's his Big Daddy, and I'm trying to get the camera. Yeah, there we go. It has the day that God called him on it, and so I'm so grateful that we still have this. And for a long time, it still smelled like him too, like
Yes, it did.
his cologne that
Smelled so good.
Yeah, and so this gives us comfort when we have our moments, because Brielle has one and Alex has one. Alex's is on his bed, so Alex is actually sleeps with his at night. It's on his bed, so
Mine's on my dresser too.
yeah. So I always think that's a good memento for people. And then I don't know if y'all have shared, but Jasmine and Thaddeus got matching tattoos. For those of you who don't think my husband is tatted, he is tatted, y'all.
Oh, for sure. I gotta get over here.
You have to get in the camera. But he has the Roman numerals 11, 19, 20, 21, and Daddy Lamb's signatures in the middle. So that was their tribute to their dad as well. So again, I just thank y'all for listening.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I think every year it gets easier.
Well, I'm not going to say it necessarily gets easier. I think we've just been more intentional about being open about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, I think it's okay. For me, I will say it gets easier for me to process my feelings, I'll say. And so that's not discounting the hurt. It's just saying that, now it's not as crushing as it was when it first happened.
Yeah.
I'm not as debilitated as I was before. And thankfully,
right.
That's it. His joy. I have his joy. And that's what makes me having peace to know that God's in control.
Absolutely.
God has our family.
He does.
No matter what. And I want to always make sure we keep that in mind through these podcasts, that God is the center of it all.
Yeah, because he will test your faith now. Don't be asking him no questions, because he'll work something out for you. Yeah, but God definitely allowed us to practice and use our faith through this process. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful.
And I just want to say one thing before we do sign off. And my quote that I use to get me on is, "It is okay to not be okay."
Yeah.
And a lot of people, if they ask me, "How are you doing?" and if I'm not doing okay, I will say I'm not doing okay. But that doesn't mean that I'm looking for a pity party. That means I'm not okay. But I have learned it is all right to not be okay. I don't have to always be okay. Every day don't have to be a great day.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what gets me through. When I wake up in the morning, if it's not a good day and if I'm not okay, I tell myself it is okay to not be okay. and then I go on. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
I would like to leave.
That's awesome. Definitely.
Yep.
It's okay to not be okay. I remember right afterwards, it was a lot of times people were like, "How are you?" I'm not good,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm not looking for you to fix that. I'm just
Yeah.
like, you know what?
No. Yeah.
There's
So-
nothing that
Like that's what it is. It is
Absolutely.
what it is. Yeah.
So, like I said, I do want to show this video that we had made for him for his tribute, and then we'll completely sign off for here for the night. Is that okay? Y'all ready for that?
Yes.
All right. This is our video in
Let's do
tribute
it.
to Daddy Lamb. If you would be, Doc. that's my daddy. We love him.
Absolutely.
Yes, we do.
Thank you all for joining with us tonight. We really appreciate you. Mama, Jasmine, thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing with us tonight.
Of course, yes. Thank you for having us here.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed sharing the memories and talking.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been complete without you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Crystal,
Thank you.
for the idea. Because Crystal came up with the idea. I wasn't going to do nothing. I'm kind of low-key about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we know.
I don't like to be out front. But Crystal had the idea to really just honor Daddy this way. And I think it was good. I think I don't regret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's nice. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
Thank you.
I have a lot of ideas, but he green light this one.
I green lit this one. Yeah. But any last thing you want to say before you log off, Jasmine?
No, just happy birthday, Daddy.
Absolutely.
We love you.
Birthday.
Reeling these sound effects. Oh my God.
That was her communicating happy birthday.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Amanda, for joining with us tonight. I know y'all are going through a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're here for y'all. We're here for the Moors if y'all need anything.
Absolutely.
Thank you, McKinnons. Thank you, Miss Sherry, for coming
Yes.
in. We got
Thank you, Sherry, my friend from afar.
Yeah. And like I said, it'll post this. This will be on the Facebook page. It'll probably post to YouTube tomorrow, and it'll be on our Apple Podcasts and everything. So, for those of you, if you're on Apple Podcasts, I'm sorry that last song was a tribute video, but all you're doing is hearing music. But we had a good time just reminiscing.
Thank you, Auntie Grandma. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Auntie Grandma. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Auntie Grandma. Daddy's birthday, twin.
Yes. And since we shout out birthdays, I will say happy birthday to Faith Green because today is her birthday
Faith.
too.
Happy birthday, Faith.
Happy
And
birthday,
Dion
Faith.
Like Kim's friend Dion's birthday's
Oh,
today.
man. That's a lot.
Yeah, July 25th is a popular day, I see.
But we love you all. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank y'all. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's good to have these moments. So thank you.
you good, baby?
I think I'm good. I'll survive. I'm probably gonna have a meltdown like soon as we turn everything off, but don't worry, I'll be good. I just need to go to sleep.
We'll figure it out.
Y'all be fine.
It's okay. It's all right.
Hey,
Jemiah.
J Bud. Hey, Jemiah.
Love y'all.
Hey.
Love y'all.
See y'all in the next episode. I don't know when that's
Bye,
gonna be.
y'all.
Yeah, we
But we'll
don't.
promote it.
Yep, we don't know, but we shall see. Y'all have a good night.
Bye.